guys, my name is Jason. I'm going to be doing a user case study on how we use Confluence at OCS. What I'm going to go over today is talk about some of the growth we've experienced using Confluence, talk about some of the successes and challenges we've had with Confluence, and then also talk about what the future has at OCS using Confluence. Brief introduction to the company I work for. It's called OCS Group UK Limited. We've been around for about 100 years. We're actually a facilities management company. So we provide things like cleaning, catering, security, pest control to sort of blue chip companies across the UK and worldwide. The turnover is about 650 million per annum, so we're quite a large company. As a sort of facilities management, using things like Confluence is sort of a big step forward with us when it comes to sort of technology and using technology to solve problems. My background is I finished uni about 4 years ago with a degree in human geography. Then I'm going to dive into sort of account management and bid management at OCS. I've been doing that for about 4 years. When I first started off OCS, Confluence, when we started to use it, took up about 10% of my time. Now it's grown so big it's taken up about 90% of my time, so there's quite a lot of work involved with it. I think it's important that I've got involved. I'm using Confluence and from a non-IT background, simply because I'm always approaching things from the end user perspective. So if it doesn't provide a benefit to them or improve their work and make it easier for them, we tend not to use it. So why did we use Confluence? Well, what we wanted to do is sort of think of a way to manage the bid management process. So when it comes to sales documents, what would happen is the business development team or the bid development team, they'd receive a tender document, they'd have to evaluate the documents, send it to their line managers for authorisation, who would then send it to their commercial teams, legal teams and bid support teams who would then reallocate the work to members within their team. At any given point during that process, the group board might want to come in and just see what bids are happening. Traditionally this was all done through emails, so you can imagine if you've got 30-40 tenders on in a month, the amount of emails that were flying around and how difficult it would be to manage that process. So using Confluence we created a system that we named Springboard, which is a bid management system. The first thing it did for us was improve the visibility of the bids and tenders we're working on. So it just means if line managers could look into their team, they could see what tenders are being worked on. The board or group directors could look into the system and see what work's being produced and see where we are within the tender process. Another important thing was collaboration. You encourage people to work more instead of sending an email. You're actually working together on a tender document to produce a sales related document and stuff. And then something that's quite important to OCS is that when we tend to win contracts, you sort of just hand it over straight to the operations teams, and there wasn't really that much of a handover. Using Confluence, well, obviously because we've got the storage of all the tender documents or the costings or the SLAs, we can give the operation teams access to this. They can see how we win the tender, what we promise the customer, and then they can ensure that we're delivering that. To talk about the growth we experienced using Confluence, it literally came in under the table against the company in the sense of it was paid for in a company credit cards with a 10 user license. We're just playing around with that. Then we're like, okay, we'll like that, we'll upgrade that to 100, and I think it was like a 500 user license at the moment. When it started off, it was initially just for a bid management system. It's now grown to about 11 spaces plus a development system. Spaces include like a sales library of like a knowledge database with sales documents in. We've got a customer relationship system which stores information about the top 150 strategic accounts. We've got training areas, and we've also got like a marketing area as well. I think as of August we're about over 180 users, and just for the bid management system we had 3,008 pages. Probably 2,000 of them probably sales opportunities. So you've got a graph just at the bottom there, just the growth of the bid management system. These are sort of sales opportunities that have been entered onto the system. You can see there from January, February, that's probably just when we're playing around with the system, just tinkering with it. And then when we went live with the system in April, you can see sort of the growth we've experienced using the system. I just included a few screenshots here of what we've done. This is sort of part of the work allocation system. So when a tender had come in, it'd go to sort of the bid support manager or commercial and legal team managers. Okay, yeah. So work would be allocated to the bid manager, and then they'd be able to reallocate it to members of their team. So when in future, then once the more she allocates it, obviously populates this graph, and she can go into here and she could say, okay, we've received a tender come in that needs like full support. She could see that Jodie hasn't got no work on, so she could allocate the work to Jodie. Equally, she could see that the person here has got quite a bit of work on, so it's probably not the best idea to sort of allocate the work to them. We've got a copy of as the tender comes in, the salesperson, in this case Adam Wilson, would complete sort of a form which is just based on the templates. They complete like an assessment and an evaluation. When they complete the evaluation, an email would get sent to their line manager, who would look at the opportunity and advise them whether to go for it or not. If they want to go for it, then obviously notifications get sent to the legal, commercial and bid support teams, which should be around here. You've got the bid management section there, and you've got sections for the bid sign-off and producing board reports. These are just simple forms and stuff to fill in all the way throughout the document, and then there's areas to upload the tender-related documents and also the commercial analysis and stuff like that. Somebody might click onto their page and they'll be able to see what work's been allocated to them. So in this case, Claire can see she's got 4 tenders on the go where they've been approved new business. So she'd be able to click onto the link, which would bring them back to that form page, and that would have all the information she'll need to produce the tender documents. And then something that we found is really useful is because sort of we're based in the UK. There's not many people. There's no way of sharing information or from say Scotland to Bristol. So we might have a salesperson in Scotland who's working on a retail tender. He might be an expert in the retail section, but someone in Bristol will have no idea of that. So because we've got the news feed here, every time there's a bid opportunity created, you can log in there and you can see who's created those sort of bid opportunities. So what's been involved in getting to where we are now? The first step has just been scoping the work. We looked at each of the stakeholders involved in the bid process, sat them down in the room and just said, okay, what do you actually need? It's tended to work quite well, and by the end of each meeting we just ensured there's a clear direction of what we're producing. As I mentioned, I'm not from like an IT background, so I'm not sure if this is the correct term, but agile development in the sense of we just went live with the system straight away. So as people were providing feedback, I'd go on there, update it, and it's very much developing as we went along. The problem with that we found was that the system is changing from one week to the next with so many updates and stuff. So on the company intranet, we kept people updated on the changes that are taking place, and we'd also send out emails to all the users, letting them know what new things have been added to the system. And then most importantly, there's been training. We held workshops across the UK, training the sales guys, directors, the legal, all the teams involved in the bid process and how to use the system. Some of the challenges we faced is that because we just paid for it on somebody's credit card, we didn't get the support from IT. They was like, you haven't followed the procurement process, we're not going to help you through that and stuff. So it's quite a bit of a struggle to start off with. Also, I'm the only person that's doing all this, so the bottlenecks are being created with work. So it's like a balancing act. So one day, if you're developing, it means you're not doing the admin side of it. If you're doing the admin side, it means you're not producing training documents. So there's quite a lot of bottleneck of work created. And then also, as it's grown and grown and grown, The speed of the system has been a major issue. We use quite a lot of reports and stuff, and that's been sort of the biggest complaints of people, is that some people's screens the sense takes like over like a minute or 2 minutes for them to load and stuff.
Where does the site live? Is it within your firewall? Is it hosted?
No, it's within our servers.
Okay.
So to manage these challenges, we've got support from the global IT director who loves this. So it means we've got a bit of clout to go around to sort of the IT people and say, well, actually, no, you have to give us a hand. So what we've done, we've championed one person who's like an infrastructure engineer, and he gives us a hand. And now we've got like the official go-ahead from someone higher up. We can sort of they're more willing to help us. The problem we had with the bottlenecks, because what it was doing is constantly updated. We create freeze periods. So you'll say, well, for this month, no changes can be made on the system and stuff. And then what we're hoping to do is after that release period, release like a version 2.0 of Springboard or Confluence, sorry. And then during that free cycle, collect feedback off people in a more formal way. So we've got like an issue tracker system we use where people can go in there, log in, request any changes they want. And then we've got like a steering wheel group where we sit down, discuss the changes that people are requesting, and decide if it's actually a benefit to the system or not. And then the speed of the system, to be fair, we use the cache macro for where the reports were using historic data. If it's using historic data, there's no point for it going to the system every time you load the page. So that worked quite well. And initially when we set up quite a lot of the reports, we used in Content Reporter. We switched that to a local reporter, and we found that improved the reports quite a bit as well. So what's planned for the future? At the moment, we're hoping to sales reporting system. At the moment, it's just done in an Excel template. It's sent out to all the directors who email all the templates back, and then we have to put it all into one spreadsheet and then send it all back out for them to approve it. So I think that's like a really good, Confluence could really solve that problem in helping improve the accuracy of it and leave less work for all us lot to do. About 2 or 3 months ago, this was demoed to our global CEO council in Ireland. Absolutely loved it, and they want to roll it out to Ireland, Australia and New Zealand. When I tell my mates down the pub, they think, oh, it sounds wicked, but it just means more work. So yeah, so you just got to do the project plans for that. I'm just looking at sort of solutions for that, because I know Confluence do a hosted service, which might be better for us. Another area we want to look at doing is sort of a training area. We get quite a lot of emails asking for refresher training, or how do I do this, or how do I do that. So we're going to create sort of a self-service training area where you can go on there. There'll be like presentations, videos, training manuals, and hopefully people will go there first before they start coming to like me. So to briefly recap, I've quickly gone over some of the growth we've experienced. I talked about some of the challenges and successes we've had, and talked about the future. Thank you. Do you have any questions?